I am the Doctor, this is my section. Earth is under my protection. Planet of birth is Gallifrey. I've got two hearts, your life is saved. Run into the Master Raw Missy. Come on, Alonzo. Alonzi. I am a Time Lord. No, I'm not rich. 12 bodies a man. Now it's time for a switch. Don't look like that. I'm in great health. You were expecting someone else? Regeneration. Oh, such fun. When I say run, run, run. What's up, my boy? Peace and sanity. Sorry, I must dash. Reverse the polarity. Sometimes I'm north, but always a limey, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Jump in the TARDIS, go for a ride. It's bigger on the inside. Exploring all of time and space. Oh, what's that? Exterminate.
Cybermen or Daleks, maybe.
Would you like a jelly, baby? Time's ticking, we'd best go. A new adventure, Geronimo! I am fantastic, so are you. Best come with me, I'm Doctor Who. Welcome to a brand new episode of D4WH. I am one of your hosts. Victory, as well as podcasting, should be naked. I'm Adam O'Sullivan.
You took it fairly literally, I see today, the naked bit.
I don't think you've realised, but every episode I've been taking one item of clothing off, and now I'm in my natural state.
See, I thought the last time when you came in just your underpants, I thought you just wanted to go for a swim, which I thought was weird because it's winter.
Well, that's why I put blindfolds on the guests, so they can't. They don't have to witness the horror that is, nakedness.
Oh, come on. You should
guests,
revel.
though.
You should revel in your beautiful nakedness.
Rejoice.
I wish,
Rejoice.
Yeah, I wish someone would say that to me. Rejoice. Your body is magnificent.
A lot more of you than normal.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And
I'm enjoying it.
And I
Please,
noticed that
somebody
you're
poke
also
my
naked
eyes
for the
out.
podcast. You're 8 foot tall and green.
Yes.
But we still love her. It's Nicchia Shoot.
Oh, sorry for dripping and slime.
No, that's
everywhere
okay.
else.
Well, I promise not to pour any vinegar on you.
Oh, yeah. I'd say pickled
Spoilers.
onions.
Once again, we are joined by our guests. They plan to reduce us to molten slag and take over this podcast.
Oh.
It's Claudia Bergs.
Hello.
And Jenny Wynter.
Hiya.
Thanks so much for joining us again.
Now, I got to check. Is it Claudia or Claudia?
Claudia, yes.
It's Claudia.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
fine.
So
Listen, it's
from
not
now
John.
on, I shall call you Jill. Right?
Sure.
There you go.
Cloud is fine.
Okay, Cloud. I like that.
Jim-jar.
Jim-jar.
Last week we discussed the Doctor Who magazine's survey of their readers of their favourite episodes of season 11. Well, they also asked them various other questions as well, such as favourite villain. Who is your favourite villain?
I'd
season
have to
11.
say Missy. Oh, season 11.
Season 11.
Sorry.
Yeah, just season 11, sorry.
Jim-jar.
That's number one, Jim-jar.
Jim-jar.
Followed by the Dalek, and followed by everyone's favourite space racist, Krasco, at number 3.
Crasco.
Yeah, that must be just have been the only 3 options.
Really?
There was an episode where the baddie was just a racist from the future.
No, I still tell you, racists are scarier than aliens
they
who
are.
want to take over the
agree with
planet.
that.
Ask me.
Yeah, the biggest reveal at the end was that he was a One Nation supporter.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't surprised by that.
What do you think the favourite creature was?
Ooh, the mud monsters.
No, not even on the list.
The spiders.
Not even on the list.
What was the question again?
Favourite creature.
Who are you?
What?
Sorry?
What?
What are you going?
Where?
I don't know.
Who's on number 1?
Wasn't
What's on
me.
number 2?
Wenhao?
Yeah.
I don't know why you keep looking at me like that. I don't know what
Favourite
you're
creature
talking
was the postman from Kablam.
about. Oh, he's not really a creature.
No, I know.
He's a robot-y thing.
Don't you mean the Kablam,
Kablam man.
Oh, yeah,
You said
sure.
the postman.
Well, that's what they called it. Second was the Pating.
Yay.
Ugh,
And
God,
the
I
third
hate
was
the pating.
and the third was the Dalek. So the Dalek was on both.
Only word I understood for the last 4 minutes is Dalek.
I'm with you. I don't know what's going on.
The favourite effects, number 1 was the time vortex from Arachnids in the UK.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
2 was the Dalek versus the soldier battle, where the Dalek destroys an entire soldier fleet.
Very cool.
I just loved that episode, actually.
And the third one was the spaceship crash from the Ghost Monument, which is much like the old movie. What's
That old movie.
Cary Grant movie, where Hitchcock
North
movie.
by Northwest.
North
Oh,
by
North
Northwest.
by Northwest.
Yes,
I
there you
can
go.
contribute something.
I knew that somebody would know what I was talking about.
It's just when
Definitely
you go
not me.
that old movie and spaceships, I think.
Well, because you know the moment I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I
all
do,
right.
but I was trying to think, North by Northwest. Yes. Thank you, Jenny.
You're very welcome.
Yes. Favourite set what There's only 2 on here. What do you think would be the top?
Billy Piper's flat.
Correct.
Yeah.
We had
Are
that
you
brief.
saying that about her apartment, or are you...
It's actually Jackie.
not flat.
It's actually Jackie Tyler's flat.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yes.
I've got no idea.
Number 1 was the interior of the Sarunga from the Sarunga Conundrum. The only award that the Sarunga Conundrum will win because
yeah.
it was a crap episode.
True.
And 2, the TARDIS interior.
Oh, yeah, I've liked it.
with all the crystals and everything.
People didn't make enough of Capaldi's inside of his TARDIS. I really liked it.
I can't even remember what it was like.
It was like an old library with the books and
Oh,
the
yes, I did like that.
chalkboard.
I did like that.
loved that.
All right, our episode today is World War III, Season 1, Episode 5. Written by Russell T Davies and directed by Keith Boak, again. Originally broadcast on the BBC Saturday, April 23rd, 2005. For those who haven't watched the episode, we'll have a short synopsis. Following on from Aliens of London, the Slovene have taken over 10 Downing Street, but the Doctor, Rose and Harriet Jones are stuck inside the cabinet room. Their only contact to the outside world is with Jackie and Mickey through Rose's phone. But when the Slovene advance their plan and stage an alien war to get nuclear access codes, the Doctor may need to execute the only plan he's got, even if it means losing Rose.
Dun, dun, dun.
I didn't want to lose Rose.
So it turns out that having two hearts makes you more resistant to electricity. So the Doctor is able to rip off his ID badge and shove it onto the Slovene.
Yeah, that worked out quite well for him, didn't it? And I think having two hearts has got to be some advantages, aren't there? And do you get to trash one and look after the other?
Yes.
So then you can, live a bit wild and then have a nice, quiet life.
Yeah, something like a cow with 3 stomachs. What are they?
Yeah. You'd never be full, would you?
Oh, no, I never am.
I don't know. I reckon I could give it a good go.
Yeah. Well, we'll get the Slovene to put 3
We
stomachs
say,
into you.
Amazing.
You're eating a lot there, Jenny. Yeah, I got 3 fucking stomachs, okay?
Yeah, leave me be. And
I
yeah,
mean,
kidneys
3
and a stomach
stomachs.
handful too.
You people with one stomach think you know everything.
Yeah.
I do go to the toilet all the time, though, because I'm constantly processing food.
You have 6 bladders.
I'm very busy.
But when he puts the ID badge on the Slovene, it affects all of the Slovene, which is interesting because later on we see that there is a lot of Slovene throughout the country. So does that mean there's a whole bunch of people across the country who are like, ah?
Well, I wonder whether it was.
Yeah.
It looked like some collective deconsciousness somehow.
So it's a family DNA.
Oh, I thought it was
collection.
the machine around their neck was like connected or something.
Oh, could be. I don't know.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or unless they're kind of like twins and they feel each
Yeah.
other's
Oh, yeah.
feelings.
Well, because it was the
Maybe
four.
they're, like,
It was
Yeah.
the 4 of
split
them.
from the same cell.
But I'm imagining that if it affects those 4, it affects all of them. So there's someone in a meeting somewhere who's like, oh,
I
Everyone's
kind
like,
of
Barry!
yeah.
Hey, you're right. Hey, you're right, Barry. Jeez.
Oh, first
the
the
farting and now this, mate.
First the farting and now this. Yeah.
It's sort of, I thought that's what would happen to us at Y2K. We'd all just like shrivel up into some blue.
Actually, the world did end Y2K and we're all in the Matrix. So
Oh,
yeah, I just thought I'd let you know. I thought I'd let you know.
trippy.
The Doctor rushes to get the army to help him, but in the time it takes him to run down a corridor, the Slovene manage to writhe around for a bit, remove the electric badge, stumble around, and then put their disguise back
Yeah,
on. How
yeah.
big is Downing Street?
Yeah.
Totally unrealistic.
There's a lot of timings in this episode that are a bit off. Like when they're being chased and they run through the room, it takes Rose 4 seconds to run through the room. It takes the Slovene 2 seconds to run, but then they still have plenty of time to go into another room and hide.
And also the whole getting changed thing is so fast.
Yeah.
And they're so big, fitting into something so small. And I know when I've eaten a lot of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
buffet,
Yeah.
I can't get into jeans that
Yeah.
quickly. It's a lot of tucking and sucking.
You'd all be
and-
writing on the floor trying to hit
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
must have
So-
spandex.
But
Yeah,
getting
like-
out
yeah.
of the skin suits takes them like 30 seconds. And as we know, getting out of a pair of jeans is easier than getting into a pair of jeans. So that would mean that it would take them at least a minute and a half to get into the skin suit.
And to find the zip.
Yeah,
Sometimes the zips
yeah.
get stuck and stuff.
You realise you're wearing the person backwards and their
Oh.
face is
If
on
your
the
zip was
back.
broken, you'd never be
Yeah.
able to. Oh, sorry, there's just blue goo coming out of my forehead. Don't
Yeah,
worry
you have
about
to go,
that.
You have to go over in a hat, wouldn't you? Do you ever take your hat
It
off?
just
No.
makes that
Yeah,
noise
Barry,
all the
why do you
time.
keep wearing that?
Aww.
And I've got such bad luck with zippers. That would be me. I'd be like,
Yeah.
zip. Oh shit! It's caught in there. Oh,
I found it really annoying that they were hanging the human suits up just over the coat hanger.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they weren't taking good garment care
No.
at all with those things.
No, if that's my hide, I want it looked
Yeah.
after. Okay?
And she wasn't even taking coat checks. How do you know what suit is yours?
Need
Yeah.
a number.
Yeah.
I'm surprised with that scene of them running across the hallway, you have not mentioned the Scooby-Doo factor to it.
Ruby, Ruby, Roo.
It's been a while
I'm
since
gonna
you
eat
mentioned
you.
Scooby-Doo on the podcast.
I'm gonna eat you, Rose. Nom 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 nom.
Has anybody ever done a compilation video of all of the corridor running?
No.
There is so
I
much
reckon,
corridor running.
I reckon
Yeah, yeah.
somebody would.
I reckon that would go on. I mean, how many hours would that be over
'cause
all
I
the
think
seasons?
you could
Probably like
do
15 hours just of running through
Corridor
corridors.
running and quarry work. working in a quarry.
Okay.
Because they look like desolate planets.
Yes.
So most of the 70s Doctor Who, Tom Baker were either in a quarry or running down a corridor.
Right.
But you're right.
we
It does,
still
it
loved
does
it.
look like Scooby-Doo where they run in and then run. Like I expected them to run in and then run back and then they run in together and then one of them's the monsters with them and they're like,
Oh, they did that. Remember they did that in Love and Monsters?
Oh, did they?
Where they, Elton's looking for them and they're chasing the monster with the bucket and they're running.
So they only do it in shit episodes then.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What about
Awesome,
the lift
awesome.
scene?
Oh,
That was so annoying. Where he was, as if he wouldn't be riddled with bullets.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't go near an elevator.
The soldiers are so ineffectual because
aren't
they
they?
don't shoot ever.
Never. Yeah.
I just love the fact that baddies are always bad shots anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
that's
they are in Star Wars, they are in Star Trek, they are in Doctor Who, they are in Die Hard, they are in everything.
But I have to say, my favourite bad decision in this episode, and there are a lot, is when Rose and Harriet Jones are about to escape, but Jones goes, I have to go back and get the security
yes.
protocols.
Oh.
And surprise, surprise, the monster is still there.
Yeah.
And then she has to turn and she's like, ah! And I'm like, what did you think was going to happen?
Oh, God.
The
Goodbye, my ears.
Gotta get that briefcase.
Why are they important? That never gets
No,
paid off,
no.
does it?
No.
Ever?
Also,
It's like it
she's
means
read the
nothing.
security
There is
protocols.
no payoff for it at all.
She's read the security protocols because that's why she was still in the room when the guys
Yeah.
came back.
Yeah.
It's like you're being chased by big green
Yeah.
mucus balls. Why do you need to read riddles
Yeah.
right now?
Imagine they get the security protocols and they're like, okay, so it says that the Prime Minister, well, he's an alien. Get the head of MI5. Okay, well, they're an alien. Look, is there anything in here that doesn't involve the people who are aliens?
there is no protocol worth going back for.
No,
That is
no.
It wasn't even a nice briefcase. Like if it was a beautiful, lush,
Yeah, or
vintage.
you could get a bit of money out of it.
Yeah.
One
or-
off.
And the handle was on the opposite end. Like the handle was on the bit that, and then the clips were on that.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
that's
she
weird.
really paid
Yeah.
attention.
So,
I- 'cause
so
I-
hang on. What I want to know is from all of you, what would you go back for if you had to? So you're being chased by the Sylvine, but there's something that you have to have with you. One thing.
Possibly my kids.
Don't be hasty. Let's have time to think about it, Jenny.
Okay.
I don't want you rushing into that decision.
yeah. Why?
But your kids aren't
If I
there.
hadn't
so
gotten
it's
a
got
selfie, probably yeah.
A selfie.
That's what I wanted to say. How dated is the episode that
Oh,
when
yeah.
Mickey goes to take the photo on his phone, he
Yeah.
doesn't take a selfie.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, that is a sign of the times.
I mean,
And
what is Rose doing turning up at planets and not taking selfies? Foreign dinners, not taking selfies. I mean,
I love when the
Instagramming
doctors,
her
when
food.
Rose shows a picture later on, it's those super grainy, like terrible, like, oh, remember how bad photos used to be?
Yeah.
Like you
Like
couldn't
2
see
pixels.
anything.
And it wasn't even. They weren't even color at some stage.
Yeah.
I remember
right.
the first text someone ever sent me on my big fat Nokia thing. And they sent me a text and I looked at it and went, God, what a lot of trouble. Wouldn't you just ring someone? Just say it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I just text all the time.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, don't even have to use your hands now. You can just dictate it and
Oh,
it'll
you
text
can.
it for you.
Can't accept Siri and I don't get on.
Siri and I don't get on either.
Oh,
the number of
good.
times Siri said to me, "There's no need for that language." Jenny." Actually say
What?
Yeah,
So
she does.
judgmental.
She picks you up if you swear.
So you
Oh,
can't swear
man.
in a text when you're texting.
No, not in a
someone.
text. It's when I've gone, fuck you, Siri.
Yeah.
Because it's just like navigating to Houston, Texas and stuff. And I'm just like, really? Do you really think I want to drive to America?
I'm in Australia, you
It
dickhead.
makes me crazy.
Well, I had to turn my GPS voice off because it was so insistent. It'd be like, in 100 meters, turn left. In 50 meters, turn left. In 20 meters, turn left.
Turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left.
I'm like,
And
okay,
you still
shut
managed
up.
to get lost.
Yeah, because I don't have the voice on.
Well, as I told you, my hubby just argues with GPS, Siri, everybody. So I'll say, Google Maps says we'll go here. Oh, no, that wouldn't be the right way. Do you have a satellite with maps in your head? Yes, I do. Okay. And so something will take us 25 minutes, will take us 45. And he'll go, but look, we saw things we've never seen before. And I
An
go,
experience.
yeah, like industrial estates. Yay. Thanks.
Someday you'll remember those industrial estates while you're,
Yeah, on my deathbed, I'll go, God, I tell you, I'm so glad I saw those industrial estates.
I like the practical effects and the CGI effects in this episode. My only issue is that the practical monster doesn't look anything like the CGI monster because the practical monster wobbles around like, nah.
Yeah.
And then the CGI monster is like a panther. It just shoof.
Yeah, it is much more like a panther,
Yeah.
isn't it?
They're different colours too.
I thought the CGI was pretty good. Like even in the first episode with the spaceship going through Big Ben and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was
cool.
Yeah.
that was
that was
very
pretty
cool
cool.
because that's iconic, isn't it? You know.
And that's why Big Ben's being renovated at
Yeah,
the moment.
yeah.
Because the Slovene
Do you mean Elizabeth Tower?
Yes. So that's always the
Yes.
big thing. Whenever you go to the UK, you go, "Can you see Big Ben?" And everyone goes there, and they go, "No, you can't. That's Elizabeth Tower." The actual bell is named Big Ben.
I haven't been to England.
The
so I'm sorry.
tower is named Elizabeth Tower, and the one next to it is Victoria
Except that in
Tower.
2005 it would have been called Clock Tower because it was renamed in 2012 whenever Elizabeth's Jubilee was.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, what did it used to be called? I just know
Clock
it's-
Tower. It used to be Clock Tower
Clock
and now it's
Tower.
Elizabeth Tower.
Yeah, so Big Ben actually isn't the structure; it's the noise.
Mechanism.
I'm
It's
just
the
going
bell.
to call it a clock.
Ah.
Can you see the clock over
Everyone
there?
calls it Big Ben, so you know.
Is
Which
it-
is funny because nobody, like my generation, can read clock.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it Doctor Who where there's an episode where Big Ben is a digital clock?
That's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
there is.
Yeah.
There is. Isn't that the one when time is weird and Winston Churchill's still alive? And
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Cleopatra's
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
time's all meshed
I knew
together.
I
you'd
want to
know.
see that episode.
Oh,
Sounds
well, we'll
trippy.
get you back to review that.
that
one.
sounds great.
It's one of my favourites.
Everything time
It's
all
actually a
happens at the same
two-parter
time.
too. What is it?
Oh, there you go.
Sucker for
You wanna-
punishment.
yeah. But is it that a good episode? Or?
Yeah, oh, well, I remember-
We
I
can't invite
remember
Jenny back. We
liking
have to
it.
have a shit episode for her again. No,
Yeah.
Excellent.
And remember, we must insult all Johns and Jameses while we're here.
yeah.
Patrick's, we love them because Jenny doesn't know any. Okay.
I don't.
I know Patrick. I'm doing a sketch for him tonight.
Are you? Oh, I heard something.
That was Patrick messaging Adam.
Where are you? Aren't we rehearsing?
I'm doing a couple of sketches tonight. One of them involves Doctor Who. I'm going to be at Get It In You tonight, which is Big Fork's sketch night.
Cool.
And I will be in a rap battle between 2 Doctor Who fans and 2 One Nation supporters who have both booked a conference room, so they're arguing over that.
I like
gets
that.
what?
That'll be
So
fun.
good.
And then the other one is I play the voiceover guy for a Dr. Phil style show, except that the Dr. Phil character is a bull.
A what?
A bull.
That has just always been waiting to be written. yeah.
I mean, I'm embarrassed I didn't think of it now. There it was, obviously, for all of us.
I read it and went, this is insane. Sign me up.
yes.
Yes, please.
How does
Sounds
the bull
so much
communicate?
like you.
Sorry?
How does the bull
Oh,
communicate?
it talks. It just has a set of
Just in
horns. Yeah.
platitudes, like, okay.
And then to deal with the bad people on the show, he gores them to death.
Oh, God.
As you do.
As you
Don't
would.
bore anyone to death. To
Doesn't Doctor?
extreme.
Wouldn't Dr. Phil do that if he could do that with his mustache?
It should be played by a walrus.
I'm gonna have to gore you with my mustache.
Imagine being gored by a mustache. Like, that'd be a slow, tickly death.
Why does that sound like a euphemism?
That would just
Gored
take,
by
that would take years and years, wouldn't it?
mustache.
Yeah.
It's
Be
a
very
slow
committed to
tickly
being murdered
death.
Yeah.
to allow that to happen.
I mean, at some point, you could really form a bond with them and start to talk about it, couldn't you?
Stockholm syndrome.
Because there'd be like months
Yeah.
and months of mustache killing with them.
Or he's caused somebody, but he can't manage to get it off
Oh,
his mustache. so
yeah,
he's just
you're
walking around with a
constantly
dead
fused.
person attached to it.
and,
like a
nobody,
weird-
and nobody ever tells you. It's embarrassing. You know,
Yeah,
when
you've got a dead
You've got an
person.
entire
Yeah.
dead person on your
You
mustache.
got someone's arm hanging off you somewhere and no one tells you, you know? Am
Then
I
someone
right,
eventually
people?
tells you,
Yeah,
and you're like,
yeah.
"Oh, you are such
He's
a
sitting
good
there
friend."
combing them out.
Yeah.
Just like multiple dead
Why
bodies.
is
falling
my
out.
audience screaming and leaving? Is there something in my mustache?
I don't think his accent's that thick.
It is.
It is.
He
Yeah,
always
it
says
is.
that.
It's a
This
big
ain't,
accent.
what is it? This in my first hay. I can't do it.
Yeah, this ain't my
My
first
first
hayride,
hayride.
boy.
Let's go with the ranch.
I just like the way he says you can be right or you can be happy.
But you can't be both,
Yeah, I
boy.
still think there'll be a way to get that. But anyway, keep going.
And so anyway, the acting prime minister and the general have put their human costumes back on, so the doctor looks very silly.
He does look very silly, and of course, was that a surprise to anybody that they came back and they were all dressed? I mean, you could see that coming from.
But I
Totally.
do love the moment where the doctor's talking to the soldier and he's like, "That was never going to work, was it?" And he goes, "Nah."
Oh, and how has no one opened that cupboard where the Prime Minister's in?
Yeah.
before?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Rose has just cursorily looking through this room, and then all of a sudden this really obvious cupboard.
And also, what happens to the body of the Prime Minister? Because it's not there.
No one's using it.
It's gone. No, but it disappears.
It gets destroyed by the missile.
Yeah,
No, but
it's
for the
still
rest of
in
the
room.
episode, it would still be just lying in the
Sitting
cabinet.
there.
Yeah,
room.
everyone's run out of the room and you're just
Yeah,
left
maybe
with
no
this.
one's
Did
gone.
they put it back in the cupboard? Or they didn't?
Well, then, because then the Slovene chases them.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's just on the floor somewhere. I mean, you would be very upset by that because they were just haphazardly hanging the body. This one, they dropped on the floor and ran over.
Because then there's the
Horrifying.
body of the aide that gets killed by the Slovene, and it's on the ground, and the doctor puts it in the
Yeah.
cupboard, but then that's also the cupboard they hide in. So you imagine they'd be like, let's all hide in this cupboard. First, let's move the body of that aide from before.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe it's like the cleaner comes in and is like, oh, for God's sake, I just cleaned up. Can anybody
Yeah.
hang up
Oh,
the dead
Mr.
bodies?
Hart!
the
Mr.
dead
Hart
bodies.
with your body! Stop it!
Oh, another one. Here we go again. How many more alien invasions am I going to have to clean up afterwards?
That's just ask the cleaner if there's been any aliens. Oh, don't let me tell you about aliens.
Aliens?
But then imagine the cleaner like we're having a very lucrative like endorsement career, just going, when I have an alien invasion, I find spray and wine really does the job. Yeah. The others fail.
D4WH is not sponsored by Ajax.
Yet.
So we could be.
Hearing some of the dirty things that we usually say on the
Yeah.
podcast.
You might clean up our
Good
podcast.
question.
You
I
might
mean-
clean up our podcast.
Yeah.
All of that sort of alien goo that was like porridge all over their
Yeah.
bodies. How would you clean that up? What do you think that smelled like?
If they're
Oh, God.
like sulfate or rotten eggs or something?
I have to give it to the show. Like throughout the rest of the episode, Jackie and Mickey are both still covered.
Yeah,
in it.
no, that was
They didn't do the
commitment.
decision of like, let's just not bother. It's too much effort. They would have had to put that back on whenever they were filming.
She's yelling out what's in the cupboard. And the doctor goes, you kissed this guy? There was a fun fact about the olives and the onion.
It's normal for people
Yeah.
in England to have those sorts
Yeah.
of things because they eat them with fish and chips.
I mean, I first heard, I thought it wasn't that convenient, but apparently it's quite normal.
The only thing that was a bit strange was the pickled eggs. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty common too.
Because I know my mum always has like a thing of pickled onions and gherkins in the pantry. Because if someone comes over, they're like, get out the pickled onions and the gherkins and the crackers and the cheese and.
I hate pickled onions and pickled
Oh yeah, I don't
gherkins.
eat them.
Gherkins.
We always just have vinegar
gherkins
in the
just a-
cupboard.
Yeah,
Just like
yeah,
a
yeah.
bottle of vinegar.
That's what
Yeah,
I
we
thought she
just
was
have
getting.
vinegar too.
Like,
Because
I don't
Rose
just go
goes,
searching through my fridge.
Because Rose knows exactly where it is. She goes, oh, it's the second shelf in the cupboard, but then she's pulling out eggs and stuff. And,
Well, they're panicking.
yeah, I suppose.
I mean, you are going to
Yeah,
be
they're
eaten
not
by
in
a
their
green
right mind.
slimy
But
thing.
you expect Rose to go, no, the vinegar, Mum, Jesus.
Could you dickhead?
Getting out the salt and vinegar chips.
It's almost as stressful as one of those MasterChef challenges. It's like, quick, what do we need? Flour.
I always think, why would you put yourself through that?
Oh, it looks so stressful.
But also because I hate cooking. So me going, I hate cooking and I'm not good at it. And then I get anxious. And so they'd be, and I'd be like, fun! I'd be the only one lying on
Yeah.
the floor
I
going,
get, I get more anxious about the mess. I'm
Yeah.
like watching all the utensils and plates.
Oh,
going,
That's the
someone's got to clean
cleaning
that
crew.
up.
I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
so sorry
I
for.
don't think you need 3 spoons, do you, to clean that up? I always, they're always, no, just the 1 spoon. Give it a little wipe.
Clean up
And-
as you go.
Yeah.
People.
It's at Mickey's apartment, and apparently Mickey has like 3 housemates. So
Oh,
Yeah.
he's going to be in deep
yeah,
shit.
what's all this green shit on the walls, mate?
Do we wanna
Are they
know?
all males?
And I think,
No, one of them's a transgender woman.
I think the nice...
It's only
If
in
it was all males, then I don't think they really would have
they
noticed
wouldn't even
green
notice.
shit
It's-
all
it's
in
only-
their kitchen.
It's only mentioned in the novelization
Yeah.
of the first episode,
No.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
which was written in 2018.
You ever
so-
visit a house where young men live
Yeah.
together? Certainly I was uni, there'd be like
I've lived in a
watermelon
house.
seeds on the roof
Yeah.
and,
There's
I've
a
lived in a
surprising
house
lack
with-
of just empty liqueur bottles
Yeah,
all over the
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and cans and
yeah. And they give you a glass of water in a Legos jar. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I was going to say? You were asking how would they clean up all that slimy goo thing when they explode. The ironic thing is that probably the best thing to clean that is vinegar.
Hey.
Vinegar cleans everything.
It does.
That's the
But
only
with
reason
the-
why I have vinegar is to clean.
Same.
But with the little chunks, so you'd have a chunk and you'd put some vinegar on it, explode, and you're like, God damn it, I got more to clean.
Yeah.
But vinegar is the clean all. Anything goes wrong, let's put a bit of vinegar on it all the time.
I mean, it's
Car
does
runs
vinegar
out of
come
fuel,
from?
vinegar.
Your
It's-
left arm's
it's-
been amputated, vinegar.
Vinegar. No, it's a great cleaner.
Doctor knows Harriet Jones's name from somewhere but can't quite place it.
I always like that bit where he says, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to triplicate the something
yeah.
of the alcohol. And he says, you're going to triplicate the what? You know, and they start to call
Oh,
him
is that
on
what
it.
I said? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I just like the way he said, I'm going to stop you. And she goes, you in your box.
I like when
that.
he gives them a warning and he's like, leave now or I will, stop this. And they're like, what?
And what is this pass to, I think you passed to the left. Is that a
Yeah.
tradition?
It's a
I know it's a thing with
drinking courtesy. You pass to your left.
Yeah, I know in the army when
Why do
I
I
worked
know
for
that
them,
over
they
you?
passed
Yeah.
to the left. Oh, I should. I just wasn't sure.
Because I just don't understand passing a drink.
Yeah.
You don't just scull it. Like, that's what, that's
Adam's
what I know.
expected to share his bottle of scotch.
No, yeah.
And anyone who didn't share their bottle of scotch at a party and drank it all themselves, you probably never drank scotch again. Because many people who did that, I saw throw up out of their
Oh,
noses.
yes. Oh,
Wow.
well, that's a party trick.
Killer pain.
That's commitment.
Where did you see Adam at this party?
Yeah.
No, Adam probably wasn't born. It was a 21st I went to, and I was 21.
Back to Doctor Who, shall we?
Yeah.
So the Doctor is able to deduce exactly what planet these aliens are from, even though he's never heard of them before. He knows the name of their planet just based on their rituals and stuff.
I love that. Narrows it down.
It's like Sherlock and his mind palace.
I really enjoyed that
was a good
scene, and I think
Bit of dialogue, yeah.
he's good in that.
But my annoying thing is that he doesn't need to know the name of the planet because he already knows that they're living calcium and that vinegar will stop them. But then he's just showing off. He just goes, I know exactly where they're from. They're from...
Raxacalicothalapatorius.
Thank you.
That's true. It makes
Brilliantly done.
Why would he need
Yeah.
to?
Well-
And he knows the name of the planet, but he's never seen the Slovene before.
And also, it's probably so we know.
Although, if he's got that intense a memory,
He does.
Maybe it is kind of word association, image association. So he has to get to the name of the planet to go, bam, vinegar.
Yeah.
You know, like that he's made some sort of connection there.
I think it is. The Doctor, as he gets more knowledge, then things start to, in his little memory palace or whatever, things start to come together like Sherlock has. And then he goes, yes, I've got it. You know, because he loves things he doesn't know. He gets really excited if he doesn't know anything.
Benedict Cumberbatch would be a great doctor.
He would,
Yeah.
They
What
probably
about
can't afford him either.
What
though.
about a crossover? That would be nice because Stephen Moffat was the writer after this guy.
He created
And he did Sherlock, so
There you go.
Right. Okay.
except Doctor Who people don't really like Moffat.
People have edited together things where the Doctor meets Sherlock and...
Yeah.
Have you not heard of Super Who Lock?
No, what?
You don't know what Super
Is
Who
that
Lock
not the
is?
thing that I was
No.
talking about where they just edited together the...
Basically, it's like the trifecta of fandoms: there's Supernatural, Doctor Who, and
Oh,
Sherlock.
no, I
And they all like connect up to each other, and people go absolutely crazy
Has
for
this
it.
show been made?
No, it's like a fandom. Like they
It would-
usually
Oh,
all
right.
like all three
It would
shows.
cost a
Like fan
shitload to put
fiction?
together.
I'm surprised you didn't know what Super Who Lock was.
Oh, I don't like Supernatural.
I don't like.
Is that the one with
Supernatural,
the three witches?
No, Supernatural's
that's
got the
Charmed.
two boys
Oh, that's right, Charm.
who go around killing demons.
Yeah, the Winchesters.
The Winchester boys. I liked it at the beginning and then it just
It's a.
got convoluted.
I-
It's finally stopped.
but it does.
Finally been put down.
It's been going on for 15 years. So
Yes.
Oh, shit.
It did take the piss out of itself a lot, which
It
I
started-
really like. It took the Mickey out of itself, or the Ricky out of itself. which-
Ew.
Ew.
The only thing I know about is Felicia Day was on it a couple of times. So.
Oh, I know of her.
Yeah, she's
Through
great.
Will Wheaton's board game thing, actually.
Oh yeah, I love tabletop.
Tabletop.
Oh, so awesome.
I saw her on that.
The only problem with tabletop is every time I watch an episode, I'm like, well, now I need to buy that game.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
another
and
$50
it's an
down the drain.
expensive hobby.
Board
Yeah.
games.
Board
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Costs so much money. We try and buy one
But
every
they're
year
good
at Christmas time and go, there's your family present, kids.
Oh,
and then we play.
I just bought a new one.
Mum, I would have preferred an iPhone.
Yeah. I just bought a new one for Dave and I. If we ever actually have friends over, if we ever make friends, we're going to have a game night.
Oh,
Scrabble,
that's so much fun.
Yeah, what's the board game called? Is
It's
it called Orgy?
apples and apples and pears, apples and
my
lemons.
God.
Apples and lemons? I can't remember what it's called now.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name. but
Isn't
I
it
know.
called Apples and Apples?
Apples and
Yeah.
apples. Apples and apples.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
There must be a Doctor Who game.
Oh, there is. There's multiple
got
Tons of them.
different
There's be
ones.
like
Yeah,
Doctor Who
I've got
Monopoly and all that shit,
Doctor
wouldn't
Who
there?
Yahtzee, Doctor Who Monopoly, which has never been opened because it's the 50th anniversary.
Because it's Monopoly. Monopoly sucks.
You can play it on your phone now.
Monopoly?
And, yeah, and now they've got scratchies that are
fun
Monopoly.
with that though, because you can't take anyone to the cleaners.
It's
can
not
you?
fun anyway.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
that's
can.
true.
I've never won a game, so there you go.
You
I
can,
do spend a lot of time in jail and then
You know, do you know that the woman who invented Monopoly, she was actually
know that.
trying to portray the ills of capitalism.
oh, yes.
So
yeah.
it's actually become the reverse of what she intended, and then it was taken over by
no.
Milton Bradley or
Yeah.
Brothers.
Oh, the
whatever.
irony.
And they were like, "Oh, this is great. People are going to love making money."
It's like the
So-
Greenpeace dude all over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Corporations will
Oh,
twist
God,
everything
evil
we
will
love.
win out always.
Everybody buys everything, and by the time I get out of jail, I got no money anyway. You know?
There's been a
Come
Doctor Who
visit you.
risk.
I had a
Doctor Who
drug
Cluedo.
habit in my Monopoly days.
Who
I'm
Cluedo?
listening.
It's
Adam.
the
It's
hunt
okay.
for Gallifrey, so you have to like I don't have a copy because it's very expensive. But there's a Doctor Who miniatures game, there's a Doctor Who card game, there's a Doctor Who RPG.
There's a Doctor Who Lego game from.
The Doctors were all in Lego Dimensions.
That's it.
The video
right.
game, and every time your character would die, it would switch into another Doctor.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, regenerate.
Apparently, the Lego TARDIS is in the Lego Movie 2. I haven't seen it.
What?
but yeah,
You
Not-
can
not-
build a TARDIS out of Lego.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
a TARDIS kit.
Where the hell have I been? I love Lego.
There was an interview with Jodie Whittaker.
Excuse me, I gotta go.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you haven't heard about it, does it even exist?
There was an interview with Jodie Whittaker, and she went to see the Lego Movie 2, and the TARDIS came out, and she's like, "It's mine, it's mine!" And she was like, "It'd be so amazing if the little like 13th Doctor came out," and she's like, "Ah!" But no, apparently that's just as the TARDIS shows
All
up.
right, now where were we?
Oh yes, Doctor Who.
Oh, that's right.
Mr. Green, who has been Prime Minister for what, like a couple of hours?
Yeah.
Announces that planet Earth is at war.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you need a little bit more verification?
I tell you why they went to the UK. Because it was easier to infiltrate. Don't you reckon, like, infiltrating America would be hard, don't you think?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, your
Militarised to the
president can commit a crime and still not be impeached.
well, in some ways, maybe that would be easier for them to administer their plan.
But you've got to get through the CIA and the FBI.
But
And...
I'd like to argue that you don't need to infiltrate the government at all because they have advanced technology. Why don't they just come to Earth and start selling their advanced technology and get money that way? Or if they really want radioactive stuff to fuel spaceships, come to Earth and offer to take everyone's radioactive waste, sell that to the spaceships because then you'd have a never-ending supply of
But
it.
I've got to tell you, Adam, that's the difference between working for a conglomerate and running a market stall.
Yes.
You know,
the
I can make
Slovene
a
need to
couple of
think
bucks
bigger.
or billions. Well, they did a whole planet. How,
No,
how
but
much
if they
bigger
could
do you
have
want
had
them to
an
get?
ongoing, you know.
Sustainability.
Yeah, and then they could have
Well,
stayed
that's-
here and had as many mistresses and young farmers as they wanted.
As I said to you, they have taken after the Australian government is when you find a mineral resource, exploit it and keep going till it's all
Till
gone.
it's gone.
And then go, what's a new one? I'm getting
Anyway,
political
I
today.
don't understand the plan. It's just
I don't
ridiculous.
either, but they should have just done Australia. We'd be so easy to infiltrate.
And the UN just
We don't even
accepts-
know half the people in our parliament, do we?
Wouldn't there be a verification of like, okay, will you show us how you came up with this, and then we'll check and have a look and.
And they come up with a decision in like
Oh.
10 minutes or
Yeah.
something.
I know.
Yeah.
No one
That's
seems
got to be
particularly
unprecedented.
stressed.
It's the weird thing because it's a fake emergency and they still take a bit of a time and you think they should have taken longer. They still took a long time for a real emergency. So
Oh, it's just all over the place. It's just a reason to have farting monsters.
Plot holes everywhere.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they didn't start out with the farting monsters. Maybe it was like they got to a point where they went, God damn, this is really messed up.
And then one of the writers
Yeah, let's go back to
farted.
the original.
let's give them some farting.
Just put some farting in there.
They
That'd be
wrote like a
fine.
Doctor Who version of the Manchurian Candidate. They were like, wow, this is really heavy. How do we? And then like Beck just said, one of the writers farted and they went, I think we're onto something here.
All the female writers in the room are just like, oh god.
Oh, great. It's farting.
So Harriet Jones is the elected official in the room, so she decides the Doctor must utilise his plan, whatever that is.
Yeah, she makes the decision. I like.
Without actually knowing what it is.
Oh, we're all going to get killed. Actually.
Can we just go back a step?
We were going to make a human sacrifice, and it was going to be you, Harriet. No, don't like that plan anymore.
We're going to use Harriet's entrails. Okay, let's talk
Just
about
back then.
this.
What's plan
I-
B?
Let's go back to the pretty girl. What are her entrails doing?
I don't. Something about that interaction between Jackie and the doctor on the phone that I just did not
no,
like.
of course, no.
Is she stays with you, doctor?
Put yourself into Jackie Tyler's shoes.
Uh,
If it was
it
you
just-
and Ella, would you?
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that?
I do. I thought that there could have been more. I don't know. It just didn't ring true for me.
It was bad enough when she thought he was a 40-year-old man, just,
Yeah, now she knows.
You
Now she
found
knows.
her on the internet, did you?
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
no one's safe in that situation anyway. So
No.
it's a silly
Yeah.
That's
it's
right.
Just a
Wouldn't you be like,
rhetorical-
instead of sort of arguing with him, wouldn't you be more like, can I just talk to her and have my last little love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
using protection, love?
Who knows what he's got? He's been around 900
But
years.
that's the thing. It is like this episode, the tone of the aliens, the farting monsters, are completely off balance with
Yeah.
the start and the end, where it's this brutal story about like, I don't want to lose my daughter.
Yeah.
At one point, Jackie goes, "Did you find her on the internet?" And it's like, oh God, we're talking about internet predatory behavior,
Yeah.
and that's really
and
serious
it's
stuff.
completely unexplored. And I think that would have helped the audience
Yeah.
to go, oh, okay, this is why she's done this, and this
Yeah.
is why he needs her.
Exactly. I felt like Rose didn't really have a say in it. The mother was never asking what Rose was considering. Like, do you feel safe? Or
Yeah.
I'm sure you know the right thing to do, seeing as you're a 19-year-old woman.
Yeah, and at some point, I always said to my kids, once you turn 18, I'll give you advice if you ask for it, but I'm not going to give you any unsolicited now because I've done everything I can.
Wow, that must be
Sure.
tough.
you
Oh,
go.
but if you're 19-year-old, I'm just trying to think, if my daughter at 19 wanted to run off with a dude who looks like he's, early 40s?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would be like, okay, can we just have a little
Yeah.
chat, sweetie?
Well,
Yeah,
I
like
understand
they- she
that.
never- they never
but what
sit
if he's got a
down.
TARDIS and he's an alien?
And a corkscrew.
Well, and if
You won't know
He's
that.
got
all
two
bets
of
are
them
off.
like everything
they're like,
else.
listen, darling, we've all got to go make our mistake.
Yeah.
You go learn. Go learn.
Some of us went to Woodstock, others went traveling along time and space.
You're
But
in
Jackie,
your car.
Jackie never
That's
sits down
right.
with Rose and goes, "Look, do you understand why I'm so upset that you disappeared for 12 months? Think of it from my point of view. You are my daughter."
Yeah, and actually, I think you've hit on it because it's the tone doesn't work. I don't know whether I'm supposed to invest in Jackie or laugh at farting monsters.
Oh, yeah.
I'm lost and I was lost the second time watching it.
I would
too.
love an episode that explores traveling with the doctor and what that does to your family members.
Yeah.
That would
Yes.
be really
Interesting.
interesting.
They
I
kind
mean-
of tried to do it with Martha, but they still did disservice.
Maybe
to
don't
them.
not even have an alien. Just have a really
In a way,
serious
they're the
episode.
original
but
FIFOs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they're coming in and out.
fly in, fly
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
We need to
But
feel
I
sorry
feel
for
like
them.
for this first season they just thought, oh, we can't keep people's attention for too long, so let's have, oh look, there's an alien, let's go deal with that.
Yeah, and I guess they were just trying to throw everything in to
Yeah.
try and get another season, really.
I just wanted to see what the shepherd's pie was going to turn out like.
Yeah.
I love
Didn't get
shepherd's
to see
pie.
that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but wasn't she going to make it with
Felt
needles?
Really homey.
Safety pins, yeah.
Well, she can't
Like,
do it
do
anymore. She was going to put curried eggs in it or something.
yeah.
So it's done now.
Or
Pickled
gherkins.
onions, pickled
onions,
gherkins.
Yeah.
Mickey hacks into the Royal Navy and shoots a missile at 10 Downing Street. How many anarchists of which they could say that?
I just love how easy it is. Googling how to hack into Navy.
Oh no, but it's because he's into Unit's website where the password for everything is just Buffalo. Just Buffalo. They don't have any different passwords. People don't have their own access. It's just Buffalo.
And I would like when my iPhone comes up and says, "Here, I suggest a strong password for you." It never comes up with fucking Buffalo, does it? It comes
You
up
tried
with,
to put Buffalo in
Yeah.
and be like, nah,
No
2
way.
weeks, try again.
it comes up with like some sort of algebra, and I go, "Oh, all right." Then he says, "One of us is going to remember this. Would you like it to be me?" Yeah, because I ain't going to remember it. You picked it, dickhead.
Then it'd send you a bloody text code or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
click on the thing and put in the code. Blah, blah,
We've
blah.
sent
But
you
no,
an
the
email
Navy.
to verify,
Your email.
Yes.
Well, I'm now sending an email to you to verify that you really exist. Please
Are you a
return
robot?
back to me.
It's harder to log into your email sometimes when you even know what the password is, and it keeps coming back and
You know what
saying,
shits me? How do you shop online if you are a robot? Because
Yeah.
it says
Nothing's in your size.
I am
is
not
it?
a robot, and you've got to tick that. Oh, nothing in your size.
Have
I
you
know.
seen the video of the robot?
Yes, I was
It
going to
has
say
a
that.
stylus and
Yes.
it goes boop, boop, and
It
then
presses the
accepts.
captcha and it goes, "You're not a robot," and it's like.
Oh.
But then the robot
Silly.
kind of, it almost looks like it has this contented sort of, yeah, I did it.
It drops the stylus like
Oh,
a
that's
mic
right,
drop.
that's right, yeah.
He's just like, boom.
I
It's
gotta
so
watch that.
good.
You know what I hate with the capture things is when, like, I get it wrong all the time because it's like click them all with the car and one of them will have, like, the corner of the car.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
well,
No.
technically it's some of it.
Yeah.
I hate the one where it's a street sign and it's like, well, do you consider the pole part of the street sign or is that not part of the street sign?
Yes.
I'm just so blind now because I'm so old, and my seeing eye daughter has moved out. So you just got two old people with 9,000 pairs of glasses who could never find
Yeah.
the right one. And it's always, they send me that and they go, which is the one with the caravan in it? They all look like they've got a caravan in
They're
it.
totally discriminating against, the blind and robots.
Yeah, and and people who are just losing their eyesight out of getting old. So I have to go put these ones, not these ones. Oh, the magnifying ones. Ooh, that one.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I love that Mickey's 2005 computer and 2005 internet is fast enough for him to disrupt anything that's trying to shoot down the missile.
exactly.
Dial-up, that's where you're watching the little circle spinning around and around.
Oh, sorry, the missile's been shot down. Okay, we'll shoot all the missiles at it.
I just hated it when you're in the middle of dialing up and then someone picked up the phone to make a call and it dropped out and you go, oh, God, it's taken me 20 minutes to get this to work.
Someone picks up the phone and they're like, oh, sorry, doctor, I just got to dial up again and then I'll log
do you
back
mind?
in and then,
This is the other thing that is strange in this show because Mickey almost is a different person in the second part than he is in the first.
He's a master hacker. Where did that come from?
He comes across as this
A year of not having
hapless,
sex.
hapless, useless,
dude
stupid
knocking
dude.
around on the
estate. Jenny's
He's had a lot of time on his hands.
Jesus,
and a lot of other things.
I
on
should
his
be
hands,
a
but-
professional hacker then. Jesus.
Yeah, what do you do
Accused
with your
murderer.
spare time? Uh-huh.
Edit this podcast.
I
That's
know.
what I
He's
do.
not
You'd
I
be
know.
able to hack into the police system and clear his name of murdering his girlfriend, then, wouldn't you?
But
I think there's a few things
Absolutely.
I'd be doing, yeah.
he knows that the doctor's been working for UNIT. So in 12 months, he's been able to find out more about the doctor than Clive did, devoting his entire fucking life to it.
Yeah, but Clive had a family, they really take away from your passions.
But who was having more sex? That is a divine question.
Well,
was it
probably-
Clive with the family or Mickey being charged with murder?
Maybe Clive was getting a bit more than Mickey. Because you're not really going to do it with a murder guy, are you? Although Clive was pretty ugly, so I don't know.
The doctor says the room isn't strong enough to survive a blast from a missile.
He's
So-
such a fatalist, isn't he?
Rose decides they should hide in a small wooden cupboard in the room because
Which is genius, because
It's-
what else is going to survive
I
a
know.
missile?
Yes.
But,
If the
going down, we're going
3
down
inch
the cupboard.
titanium steel on the outside the room isn't going to work, the door frame's going to work.
But I
Yeah.
mean, isn't that? I was told that as a kid all the time.
Yeah.
Whenever we had big storms out in the country, we all had to stand in one particular corridor that had a
really?
big door, like a door frame corridor.
You're supposed to stand in the most central part of the home because it's supposed to be structurally the strongest.
And that was the centre of our house, and we'd all be standing there in thongs because we always had to have rubber soles on.
Oh, right.
conduct
right,
Yeah.
of course.
electricity.
We had one of the old black phones, that you with the big ringer on it. And my dad was on it one day, and the lightning struck straight through the phone line. Woo!
Wow.
Off he went.
That call was electric.
The funny thing is, in those days, he'd do all his very funny.
I love
He would do all his work, all his phone calls on that phone in that one spot in the kitchen. Now we get our phone, we walk around,
Yeah.
we do this,
That
we
sense
do
of
that.
privacy is so different, isn't it?
Yeah, and he was on the phone all night. I mean, he must have thought he was very important in those days.
Also, I don't know if anyone's a missile expert, but when
Oh,
missiles,
yeah, I am.
when missiles fly, do they tend to swing back and forth?
Yeah.
Like every time you saw it, it was like,
Very flimsy.
it's like, wee, I'm a missile. I'm going to destroy the Prime Minister.
I don't know much about them, but I have
question.
I have taught people how to lift a Hellfire missile and put it onto a
Jesus.
helicopter.
What?
For safety. Not taught them how to do it. I've watched them do it and then done the risk assessment and then told them what their problems were.
First safety thing, don't have a Hellfire missile. That's the first one.
That's worked for me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
well,
for
maybe
me.
that's how I should have started off.
Don't be picking up a weapon of mass destruction. That's safety number one. I don't know if anyone notices this, but
Damn.
second
Don't
of
click
all,
on that.
don't carry it around with you everywhere on your back. Oh, it's just
Well,
so
they're
heavy.
very heavy. You'd get a lot of physio. Very
you
heavy.
get scoliosis.
Scoliosis.
Don't do that.
What gave you scoliosis? My Hellfire missile.
Downing Street and the Slovene are destroyed by the missile, but thankfully, the cabinet room definitely survived the blast, even though the doctor said it could not. Absolutely could not. No way.
doctor's a dickhead.
Totally fine.
Doesn't have any idea. Have to put him on Alan Jones show now.
He also said he was only taking 12 hours, but
Yeah, true.
Remember we were doing the old one and you said Tom Baker talks to his companions like they're idiots. Eccleston talks to everybody except Rose like they're idiots because he's a bit starstruck with Rose.
Oh, he does that to her as well.
Yeah, no, he does to her
He
as
goes,
well.
oh, I took another stupid ache.
Yeah, That's it.
Only when he doesn't get his way.
When Rose isn't putting out.
He's a bit controlling, this doctor. Anyway.
Harriet Jones goes to offer her help, and the doctor remembers where he's heard the name before. She becomes a 3-term prime minister, leading the UK into a golden age.
That's really cool.
Yeah, except that she doesn't. She
No,
is-
shh. Don't tell her anything.
All right. All right.
So hang on, he can rewrite history then.
No, he can't. Oh, yes,
Yes,
he
he
can.
can, yeah.
Yes,
Because
he
if
can.
that
When he-
was the
when he
future
wants to,
history,
yeah,
then
when he
can
wants to.
change it.
And she didn't deserve it. But anyway.
I thought that was against the rules of time travel.
I
The
think
butterfly
we've
effect.
Supposed to change
with
things.
Depends
Doctor Who,
on
they're
what
very
they want.
fluid.
Yeah.
So if it fits the story, it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't fit the story, we don't do it.
He's
Very
also
convenient.
not allowed to go back into his own timeline, but as we see in a later episode this very season, he does exactly that.
Yeah.
Now, hang on a second. Okay, so I know I'm new to Doctor Who. Watching it with my husband, who is a big Doctor Who geek, he pointed out that little kid who's graffitiing the TARDIS
Yeah.
is actually someone important. Well, that's an
he-
important little clue.
Yes,
The
he's not important, but
graffiti
the
is
bad wolf
important.
is.
Oh, yeah. I
Bad
was wondering what
wolf.
that meant. Because
Bad
it wasn't
wolf.
just a tag.
Bad Wolf is the arc, and it goes all the way through right to the end. And then you
So
find out who Bad Wolf is and what Bad Wolf is.
It's not me, just letting you know.
So that little boy
It
is
was
a-
Beck.
That little boy isn't bad wolf, no.
So
No,
how does
no.
he know what to write?
You find out in the last
You'd have
episode
to
of the
find
series.
out in the last
yeah.
episode of the series.
Okay.
That's a little thing to get you to watch. I don't know. It's not worth watching this episode just to see that bad wolf reference.
I
Basically,
mean, I think that's a nicer way of getting people to watch Doctor Who than when we would put them in the room, tie them up, and pull their eyes open and just put it on.
We
'Cause
said-
I
we-
think that was a bit cruel.
we
I
told
did
you.
kind of feel like that was happening
Did you?
to me. No, I'm like,
We told you guys you could just watch it on your own, but you said you wanted the full D4WH experience,
Yeah,
so we
I
brought
just-
you in.
I did.
I
We
know.
I
hooked you
signed
up.
that risk assessment.
Yeah, look, you've still got a bit of tape on your eyelid too. just on your way home, pull it off. And don't get my fingerprints on it. Right.
Back at home, Jackie offers to cook for the doctor so she can get to know him. The doctor rings up Rose. They have a row, but then he works her all up and she's all ready to go see him again.
Yeah, she
It's like a bit of a sex call.
and what a little bitch. I'm sorry, but like
goodness.
she just leaves.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't
Yeah.
even say, "Oh, mum, I'm going." Like again, after the trauma that she has put her mother through.
Yeah.
Leaving for 12 months, doesn't even go, but see your mum. The mum goes in and the chair's just sort of spinning around or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
empty
Oh,
chair.
she's
I
packing
just
her
thought that
bag.
was
So I think
mean.
she was going to pack her bag. And
Oh,
then
I
Why is
take
she
it all
packing
back.
a
Sorry.
bag when
I
she's
thought
only
she just
going for,
left.
like-
Oh, she is. Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Also, we've seen her in probably like 3 different outfits at this point.
I know, she's
so...
not changing her clothes. And so even though she's only away for 12 seconds.
12 hours.
Oh, at the end she
At
says
the-
10
yeah,
seconds.
10
I could be back in
seconds.
10
Yeah.
seconds.
But what is it in reality in the TARDIS?
Oh, could be months.
Could be months.
years.
Could be
So that's why
years.
she needs the clothes.
Yeah.
You're not changing
Well,
clothes
he's got
in 12
he's
seconds.
got a ginormous wardrobe anyway in
Yeah.
the TARDIS.
Is she the only one we've seen actually pack a bag to go into the TARDIS?
No, Donna. She had a bag full of hats as well for the hat
right.
planet.
Oh, that's right.
She said in case we go to a planet with a lot of hats, that was Catherine Tate, my favourite companion.
Oh, I'd love to watch
for
that.
a
Oh,
season.
so good. We'll get you back for one of those
definitely
episodes.
Get you
Oh,
back
she's
for
so good.
Dr. Donna episodes.
Oh.
No, probably the old companions didn't really.
Well, my favourite bit of this whole episode is when, and shows off how good Jackie is as an actor, is when she goes...
Camille, her name is?
Yeah, she was also in King Ralph,
Oh.
John Goodman movie. She was the love interest in that.
I've never seen that movie.
Oh, I love that. I used to love that movie when I was a kid.
Was that from the 80s? I feel
Yeah.
like I watched that on VHS.
the
Look, I
whole-
watched Uncle Buck. That was mine.
That was John Candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was John Candy.
Yeah, different. That
I
was
don't know why I
that
was so defensive about
That
it.
was John Candy.
I was like, felt outraged.
I was like, no, I wasn't trying to insinuate John
Didn't
Candy
mean
was
that
in
to be.
King Ralph.
I just didn't think Jenny'd throw a cup at us.
Sorry about that.
And ripped off her shirt to reveal
Oh.
a John Candy tattoo that's tattooed on her back. It's just so weird.
I feel really weird now. No wonder she's funny about the name John.
Yeah, wow. It's funny that your tattoo has John Candy screaming out, "I am John Candy."
Yeah, I know. It's sincere. It took a long time, actually.
So I would imagine, yeah.
And your husband, it was his first go, was it? Or second?
is when Jackie asks Rose not to go. I thought that was a very touching moment. when she
Oh,
said,
yeah.
Please don't go.
I did too. There was a change in Mickey. The Mickey that I met at the beginning of this episode was very different to the Mickey that left. And I don't think we saw enough of that arc. Yeah, her acting is just so lovely, Jackie. But you're 19.
I think they're still
I
working
would
out the
run
characters. Yeah.
away with a man in a blue
I would
dress.
run away with the doctor now, you know.
Oh, yeah, so would I.
We
I'm
all
gl-
choose life choices.
That's right. And I'm glad that Mickey didn't go because I felt
Yeah.
like he's realised, or maybe he's read the book, he's just not that into you
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Because
He still pines for her though. He's the biggest cuck in the entire Doctor Who
Oh, so he
series.
sticks around.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Him.
no, dude.
He's in the next series as
But
well.
Your life,
he
mate.
has. I didn't like who he marries in the end, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought his exit from the show was really fitting.
Yeah, he
Okay.
becomes
really
a better
great,
character.
and
yeah.
he became such a good character. So he was better for the experience. Same with Catherine Tate's character, Donna and Rose. They're all better for the experience if they survive it. Not everyone survives.
Mickey has the newspaper which says the alien sighting was a hoax. Perhaps the dumbest explanation of why no one ever remembers the aliens who visit Earth. I hate this explanation so much. Because sometimes if the writer wants it, people can remember. Other times it's like, the worst thing is where Capaldi is saying to Bill Potts, oh, look, everyone's forgotten about the aliens. It's like, what? No, people could take pictures of it and take recordings of it and see it. It happens.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And then they say, what happened? How did this get here? And it's some weird statue of a monk. And the girl goes, oh, weren't they filming something here or something on the film set?
So stupid.
Like they didn't know. And so every time there's been an invasion of aliens to Earth, we've all just forgotten about it.
It's the sort of thing you'd carry through the generations, through folklore.
Well, I mean, it was only the other day I woke up, I went, oh, that was a Cyberman 6 years ago. Oh, I'm embarrassed now because I told him I didn't want any and sent him away.
The Doctor gives Mickey a CD. Remember those? Remember those things, guys?
yeah.
With a virus to erase any instance of Doctor on the internet.
Yet he waved at all the paparazzi when he got out of
Yeah,
the
oh, there's
car.
pictures. Doesn't erase the pictures that are on the cameras, that are on the film.
No, and he seemed so blasé
Yeah.
about getting it or wanted it. Like
Yeah.
he wants,
Yeah.
so happy to
Yeah.
have his photo
Fame
taken.
hungry.
But other
So
times he's
weird.
like, no one should know about me. The TARDIS disappears and Jackie waits 10 seconds before heading home.
Oh, I
That
thought
was so
that was...
I thought that was
poignant.
nice.
I did. That was the best moment of the whole thing.
Does that mean that something terrible's happened?
Dun dun dun.
Or does it just mean that he's stuffed up the timing again?
The thing with the TARDIS is always takes the Doctor where he needs to be, but not necessarily where he wants to be.
Interesting.
So,
it has a
because
bit of
Adam,
autonomy.
it's actually at
Sometimes,
some
yeah.
point the TARDIS is put into a body and becomes a
Wow.
speaking person.
So there's basically no rules with Doctor Who.
No,
whatsoever.
no.
And
You
so
can
he
do whatever
gets-
you like.
He gets
Okay,
to
I
talk to the
think
TARDIS.
I'm
and
finally
it's
getting
fantastic.
Yeah.
Does
Oh,
he
you
tell
haven't
it to
you
get
haven't
its
seen
shit together?
No,
And,
but
like,
she's a
you haven't
beautiful
seen the
woman.
episode with the sentient universe.
Oh gosh.
The funny thing about it is she's a woman. He says, this is Idris. She's a woman. She's the TARDIS. And his companion goes, did you pray really hard?
Now, did we all realise that this was a thinly veiled parody of the Iraq War?
I wondered that actually.
yes.
Yeah, I even said, I was like, this was after Iraq?
Yeah,
wasn't
this was
it?
2
Yeah.
years after
Yeah,
the
just
start of the
after.
Iraq War. They talk about they've found weapons
Yes.
of
Yeah.
mass destruction. He uses the word inspectors, which is exactly the word that they used
Yeah.
for the inspectors going
were
into
going-
Iraq to check out the weapons
Mm-hmm.
of mass destruction. Yeah, very interesting. So it's very of its time, basically.
That's right. Wonderful political satire using
2 years
gas.
after it started. Yeah.
Amazing.
And I think there'd be a lot of farting in Parliament.
with farting
anyway,
monsters.
So,
But where does the pig fit in?
George
I'm
George W. Bush. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
But, okay, cool.
Remember how everyone was like, George W. Bush is the worst president the
Yeah, I
Americans
know.
ever going to
Those are the
happen.
days.
And then Trump's like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
did anyone think that they could get worse than Bush?
No.
George W.
No.
Isn't that frightening? We might look back one day and go, remember Trump?
Remember
And we were
Trump?
like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
Wow, he was a rational
Oh, yeah.
person
Yeah,
compared
I wish
to this
Trump
guy.
would come back. Oh, man.
At least we get Lisa Simpson next.
Oh, yes, she's a president
Oh,
later.
we do. Well, maybe that's what the pig could do. Oh, no, he shot it. I thought he could be president.
Spider Pig could be president.
Spider pig,
Spider
spider
pig
pig does whatever a spider pig does. All right, thank you very much for joining us. As always, we like to score the episode out of 5. Now you can
Hang
choose.
on, before I need to ask, I asked a question for everyone to think about. What's the one thing, if you had to go back and get it, to get out because you've been chased by Slovene, what would you take? And it's not a person. All your family's away. It's just you.
I would have to go back and get my laptop because there's shit on there I don't want people to see.
And also it probably got D4WH episodes on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I would go and save it. Yeah.
Delete my browser history. Beck?
I have little collections of things that I scrapbook. So I collect things like
Blood.
Blood.
No, like
Human
movie
hair.
tickets and like drink passes or like tickets to
Memories.
things.
So like memory things.
Yeah,
that's
I
beautiful.
like call them life books so that I like put them into little books and write what was
Oh, that's
happening.
so nice.
Just because I have a
start
really
that.
intense fear of having Alzheimer's and not remembering my life.
Oh, wow.
So I
That's
thought it'd be
interesting.
nice, even if I don't get Alzheimer's, like if I end up having a family one day, be able to show
Yeah.
my children, oh yeah, this is what I was doing
it,
20
yeah.
years
I
ago.
think that's lovely. I mean, I'd love to do that. I have a really huge fear of doing finicky, crafty things.
I
Yeah.
love crafts.
Yeah, I
so.
hate crafts.
Yeah, I'd probably grab those.
We did craft at school, and we had a very scary lady, and she made me so nervous I stepped in her box of dried flowers. I've never really liked
no.
craft. As you heard the crunch.
Oh, no.
You know,
That's
I've
awful.
never really liked craft since then.
Claudia?
I'd go photos.
Photos.
Hard copy. Yeah, old family photos.
So old school.
I'd probably go photos plus my medication.
Yeah, stay
The
alive.
only thing worse than dealing with an alien invasion would be being off my meds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important.
The alien inside your head.
Oh,
Yeah.
look, the aliens have been fixed, and I'd be sitting there going, no, it's still terrible. Everything's
I'm gonna die.
They're all over my skin.
Somebody shoot me.
All right, so let's give the score out of...
Hang on, what were you? Oh, your laptop.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
my laptop.
Okay, I've got it all.
Oh, did you want to do yours? What's yours? Did you do
Oh,
yours
mine
already?
was going to be my meds.
Oh,
I
okay.
wouldn't go anywhere without them.
So we like to give the score out of 5. You can choose to give the two-parter a score as one episode, or you can choose to give each episode a score out of 5. However you want to do it. I'm happy to go first.
I can go first, or you go first.
Sure, you go first.
You didn't think this
I
through.
win. I don't know what I won. Nothing.
I'll allow you to win.
Oh,
Wow, that
you're
is
such a lovely
that
man.
is a high honour.
Nicchia.
Such a lovely man. I think
So
the first,
anyway,
the first episode of this two-parter gets a 2 out of 5 for me. I did not like it. I had a lot of trouble getting through it. The second one I liked better because there were a few moments in it that I really liked, so I gave it 2.5. When I don't like Doctor Who episodes, I just don't like them.
and would you consider this episode better than the Sarunga Conundrum?
Yes. Oh, no. I'd rather watch... Is that the one with ribbons? Oh, no, that's the one with the pating.
Yeah, that's the one with the pating.
Yeah. No, I don't like the pating.
I do.
What's the pating? A creature.
Yeah.
They're really cute, but they, like, land in your car and then eat it while you're in it. Or your spaceship.
We need less cars on
All
the
right,
planet.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
so-
there you go. Or less spaceships and people breathing air. I mean,
Does insurance cover it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Acts of pating. I don't know.
Pating. Yeah.
An act of God.
Pating repairs.
pating.
Pating repairs, yeah.
They hardly
They
covered
just
the
eat your car.
floods.
Well, it's repaired now.
So, all right, what's yours?
Look, when I first started watching Doctor Who in 2005, I missed these episodes because I was doing something. I wasn't as
My
into
God,
it.
had a
if you'd
life.
seen them, we may never have been doing this podcast.
I don't know. And I got the gist of what they're about, and I found out they were fighting aliens, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't need to go back and watch those. And then when I eventually did sit down and watch them, I was like, yeah, I didn't need to watch those.
Only Harriet Jones.
I hate these episodes.
Me too.
But I love the bit at the start where Rose has been away for 12 months. I always remember that. And the bit at the end where she's like, please don't go. And if they had to turn that into one episode, that would probably be a 5. That would be amazing. But then they cover it with this terrible, convoluted story about fighting aliens and blah. And it's
Too
just
much
so
going on.
terrible.
It's like the one with the frog and the other universe and ribbons and there was just too much for me. There were all these great ideas, but none of them worked together.
It's just so terrible. I mean, you like World War III more than Aliens of London. I don't. Because World War III doesn't have that 10 minutes at the start. They're so interesting. There's nothing in the episode. The pig is quite
the
funny.
pig is
So,
really.
yeah.
No, the pig annoyed me.
I
Whereas I think you see Mickey start to develop here. You see some great acting from Jackie. You see more of Harriet Jones, who I love, and a bit more tension or something.
But there's nothing in this episode that's going to make me want to watch it again.
Oh God, no! I'm never watching it.
Oh, God.
I'm always spilling things around here. I'm never
We'll
watching
get you a
it.
sippy cup.
Yeah.
The others are just sitting there staring at you guys, just in wonder of you guys having this conversation.
You know,
Yeah.
and we could just be talking
being nerds.
absolute crap and they wouldn't know.
So Aliens of London, I'm going to give a 2. And World War III, I'm going to give a 1.
Oh my God, a 1.
My
Is that your first one?
Yeah.
My first 2 and my first 1. Yep. I've never given an episode a 2 or a 1. I hate these episodes. I hate them so much.
I don't know if I can ever go to a 1.
You have. You gave. It takes you away a 1.
Oh, that's right.
That's the one with ribbons.
Which is probably my favourite episode from
Yeah, I don't get the
new
two.
series.
There's some wonderful things. They just don't work together. I want to hear what the
Claudia?
guests say.
I really concur with you, Adam. I was flipped from what you said, Nicchia.
Oh, really?
I guess the first episode, it took a little bit to get my head into because I had no context of the previous storyline. But yeah, it was just kind of interesting. Seeing the scenes of London, I enjoyed in the first ep. The pig, I thought was a good interlude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then I lost momentum in the second episode. I was just like, oh, yeah, I get the gist. Let's just end it, save the world, come on. So yeah, I'll go 2 and 1.
And it didn't need to be 2 episodes, I don't think.
Yeah, that's a
No,
good point.
definitely
It could
not.
have been
Definitely
condensed.
not. No.
Because I really enjoyed the episode you charged me with last time.
Yeah, we're going to
Resolution,
get
yeah.
to
And
we're
I
going to
was
get
like,
both of you a good
whoa,
one
this
next
is
time.
Low.
We're finding that
Yeah.
season 1 is
Not
not
as
as good as we remember it to be.
Yeah, I felt that way when I went back to Astro Boy, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I wish I'd never gone back.
Oh no.
Just kept it
Yeah,
as a
the
memory.
memory.
I'm
Oh,
really
the original Astro Boy?
The original.
I remember the
Yeah.
original Astro Boy being very sad.
It was devastating. With
remember
his
watching
brother and the robot girl and...
I can't remember what
Oh,
episode
God,
it
I
was, but I just
remember that.
remember watching an episode as a kid and just sobbing.
Me too. Yeah, it was devastatingly sad.
'Cause he
But you
wanted
had
to be
to
a
you had to
boy.
follow the series
Yeah,
to really
yeah.
get that impact. But yeah, going back and watching single episodes, I was like, God, it's dreadful. I'm just really horrified that you guys made me watch such terrible episodes.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm
I was
so
like,
sorry.
Is Doctor Who this bad?
No.
But so
No.
hearing that they're actually just bad episodes makes me go,
Yes.
okay, I won't give up on it because it was dreadful.
All right, we make sure that these two are on good episodes that we know are really good.
Yeah, but at least they were hilariously bad. You
Oh,
know?
it
Well,
was
that's
beyond.
true.
It was actually so bad. I was talking to my daughter about this the other day because we were talking about The Room and
Oh,
The
yes.
Disaster Artist.
Love The Room.
And how now it's actually grossed shitloads
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you need something. If something's just mediocre, it doesn't make an impact. And even if it's bad, it doesn't make an impact. But if something is so bad,
Yeah.
kind of goes to that point of like,
Yeah.
that's
Absurdity,
noteworthy.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
for that reason, because it was so bad, I'm going to give it an extra half a point.
Oh,
I rate them both equally. They were both dreadful. Maybe slightly 0.2 of a mark more for the first just because of the
Yeah.
pig, because I did love that. So I'm going to give the first one 1.7 and then the second one 1.6.
All
Did
right.
you like work with my password guy and just come up with algebra stuff? 1.7, 1.6
Yeah.
equals X, Y.
And that's my password now, guys.
Yeah.
1.7, 1.6.
I felt sorry for you two to have to watch these.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
You
I
could have
felt,
given us some moral support.
I felt
Like,
sorry for me having to watch this. And I think next time we have a really bad one, we should just try and all sit together and tape
Yeah.
it
And
while
And just
we watch
cry.
it.
Just why? Why do we do this? So Claudia, have you managed to think of a movie that would be enhanced by adding a doctor?
So there's this movie, it's called Winter's Tale.
I wonder where you heard of that from. Would the doctor be Colin Farrell's character, or would it be the girl
Yeah.
he fucks to death?
Yeah, that's right. The doctor cannot die, though.
All right, Jenny,
Yes.
Time Lord name.
Oh,
So everybody comes on the podcast has to come up with a Time Lord name. Now, the
Okay.
Doctor is a Time Lord. He calls himself the Doctor because he is do no harm, the Hippocratic Oath. He's there to help where he can.
okay.
Beck is the artist, and you are
The nerd.
the nerd, and I'm the commander.
Doctor Who related?
No,
No,
it's
could be
about
anything.
you. Like,
Oh, okay.
I think I would be the tired show pony.
I love
Awesome.
that. I just want you to be
Yeah,
the show
that's
pony.
amazing.
That's such a
I
great
know, but
one.
I also have kids, so I'm pretty exhausted,
Yeah.
to be honest.
You could be
so-
like Ace and call her the show pony. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. The Tide Show Pony.
Tired show pony. That's
So you're getting
great.
out
That's
of you get
fantastic.
out of the Tide Show Pony.
Did you remember yours yet?
I can't remember, but I think it was
Oh,
about
we'll let you
art
know.
or landscaping.
I love
so
that you'd be
sorry.
like, I'm the tired show pony. Oh, why are you called tired? Well, okay, here are my kids. Right, okay, we get it now. I am in the process of trying to write them all down, just so we don't have people doing the same ones. We don't want everyone to be the tired show pony.
Maybe we should
know.
get like
It's
a
pretty-
poster
It's
board
quite
and
a
write
grand
them on.
cliched.
Like get a
That would be
and
amazing.
have all the
Yeah.
guests on there.
Oh, who here is really good at craft?
Oh my god! And then we can sign our doctor name.
Yes!
And you can take Polaroids of everyone.
I have
Yes.
a Polaroid camera.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
All right, this is how we come up with things on D4WH. Somebody comes up with an idea and we steal it. Yes.
Yay!
Guys, do you have anything that you'd like to plug?
Adam has reminded me I do have a side hustle. I do illustrations,
Oh,
cartoons.
and
hit
she's
me up.
really, really good.
Oh.
And I'm going to encourage her to do more Doctor Who.
Yes,
ones.
Oh, yeah, I can
you,
do some of
you
that.
drew our Dalek breath.
I did, that's right.
so-
Yeah,
Love
forgot
that
about
one.
And Jenny, do you have anything to plug from July onwards?
Oh gosh, I never remember what I've got happening until
all
the
right.
week of. But if you just go, I put everything on my website. So Jenny
That's the
Wynter with a Y, Wynter. Just find me there, jennywynter.com.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Nicchia?
As in always, all in. My comedy stuff will be up on my Facebook page.
As always, you can follow Adam O'Sullivan Comedian on Facebook and visit thenerdinfinite.com. Hello, listeners. If you happen to be in Brisbane or Queensland in August, we would love to see you at our live show. We're doing D4WH live from the TARDIS. August the 14th at 5 p.m. It is the Eka Show holiday, so if you work in Brisbane, you will have the day off. $15 online or $20 on the door. So make sure you jump in onto Sticky Tickets. That's stickytickets.com. Use the code DALEK, D-A-L-E-K, and you can get 20% off our 1, 2, or 3 people tickets. It's at Haya Bar in Fortitude Valley. We will have guests Glenn Stevens and Beck Buckingham to discuss the Daleks with us. Whether you're a Whovian, brand new to Who, or you've never watched it before, please come along. It'll be a fantastic and hilarious time.
Just a reminder, D4WH is on Facebook, so please give our page a like. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, D4WH Pod. You can rate and review us on iTunes, recommend us on Facebook, and follow us on Podbean. We're also now available on Spotify and Stitcher. Tell your friends about us. If you see someone on the street wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt, politely go up and tell them they should listen to our podcast.
All right, so I'm going to do the get the word out. Obviously, this suggestion came from Jenny.
Oh, this will be good.
Daycare centre and an easel. Get the word out. You're what are they called, the people in the daycare centre? You're a carer at a daycare centre looking after all those little bastards. I mean kids. Beautiful, full of life, amazing, fantastic. And they're painting everything, all over, finger painting everything. Everywhere except the easel, which is beautifully left white and there's no paint on it whatsoever. You decide to go into a closet and suddenly find yourself 12 years in the future.
Ooh.
Oh, yes. And the kids are all grown up and one of them
And they're
is...
still there?
They're still there, still painting and everything. And there's a man there who's like, come travel with me and these kids. We're all going to go on an adventure. And they're like, what about the parents? And he's like, they've all signed forms. And I'm like, wow, the future is amazing. Parents sign the forms and get them in on time. Fantastic. And then you step into his TARDIS and all he plays is D4WH. You're like, no, that's fine. I think I'll stay. Until next time, keep searching the skies for the Doctor.
Goodbye!
Thank you so much, guys.
everyone.
Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. This has been a production of The Nerd Infinite. And then the sound of dragons spitting fire and stuff. What? Why are you looking at me like that?